And then I'm going to go ahead and put my background on. So I'm going to just read a little bit of this, but I'm going to use your written bio for the book. And then I'm going to have you tell me more about your business. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Reverend Tammy Patzer, and today we have on Expert Profiles conversations with influencers and innovators, Burley Almonte. And she is a living benefits specialist. And not a lot of people know about living benefits, but what we're going to be talking about today is really about how you can be educated and become more financially literate and become more resilient. So let me tell you a little bit more about Burley Almonte. She has the wisdom and the passion to help people lead resilient lives. And the reason she's able to do this is because she has real life experience that stems from personal, medical, and financial catastrophes that happened to her and that probably happened to many of us along the way. She had a stressful divorce that ended her first marriage, a disabling and life-threatening exposure to noxious lung-damaging chemicals, and she lost her spouse only after a few months of marriage to pancreatic cancer. And of course, think about that. Those tragedies led to some financial hardships and the foreclosure of her home. But Burley has been resilient. So she is bringing what she has found out to the public, to you today. So I just wanted to share that little bit about Burley. And she is a licensed life insurance agent in New Jersey and other states. And she is on top of all of the things that are happening today with finances and insurance and just being resilient with life. So let's go ahead and find out a little bit more. So Burley, tell me more about your business and what you do for your clients.
My goodness, thank you so much for having me on this show. I listened to you talk about my life story and I said, wow, I've been through all of that. And many people could relate to that. And that, those medical catastrophes, financial disasters, and many other trials that we've had in our lives led me to my big passion in my business. And my business encompasses resilient, confident, and vibrant living. Basically, I sell peace of mind, protection, and prosperity. In a very comprehensive and holistic way, I provide people with life solutions as they go through many transitions in life. For the focus of this interview on financial resilience, as a life coach and life insurance provider, I help people prepare for three major risks in life: death, we cannot escape that; catastrophic risk and catastrophic illnesses and disabilities; and life in supplemental income tax-free retirement strategies, of course, for our life, for our golden years. Because I was very, very surprised that babies born nowadays actually will live to be 103 or 104 years old. But oftentimes we are not prepared for that. But in between us being born and us going and checking out of this life, we go through many, many life transitions. And the vehicle that I've chosen to help people with and empower them with resilience is through living benefits. It's the kind of insurance you don't have to die to use. Would you like me to explain more about that?
Yes, I'd really like to know more about living benefits because a lot of people, they really don't understand that you don't have to necessarily be terminally ill or dead in order to get the benefits of having life insurance. So tell me more about that.
Oh, wow. I wish somebody had told me about this many years ago. And the best way I can actually illustrate this is actually to share with you my life story. All right. So here I am. I was young and healthy, of course. And then, at that time, I bought a term policy. A term life insurance policy is one that comes, that expires or matures over a period of time, 10, 20, or 30 years. If you don't die within those time frames, well, everything basically just like leasing a car, nothing goes to a savings. Basically, you pay for coverage for the time that you are alive. And then, of course, when you die, your beneficiaries will get the proceeds. Unfortunately, during that time, I only could afford term policy because it's more affordable than permanent life insurance policy that usually comes with a built-in savings that you can either access in times of emergency. But over the years also, times have changed. It's no longer that you have to die for your family to access money from your life insurance. Now, there are some revolutionary companies that actually have trailblazed their way into providing the kind of benefits or cash cash availability to you when you are alive and when you need it most. That is what you call the living benefits. So going back to my story, I only had a term policy. It will expire in 20 years, which already happened actually last July. By the time it usually matures, it's going to be more expensive because now you're going to be older, you're going to be closer to your mortality, and also you're more likely to have many other diseases. So during that time, that's all I had, that's all I could afford. But in the process, I actually got exposed to an occupational hazard exposure that actually caused a long-term disability of over 10 years. Well, with no living benefits, I have no access to any type of money or even savings built into it. And so it obviously resulted into financial, disaster in my life. I've lost my home. I actually went into bankruptcy. My family was very, very stressed because, the bills have to be paid. You know, Even if you have health insurance, the health insurance will pay for, if you're lucky, most of it. If not, you will be pay you still have to pay a portion of it. So it's very important to also have health insurance. But with your health insurance, pay for your mortgage, your rent, your car payments, your kids' education, your food. This is where people do not understand that you need to have income replacement in times that you don't expect. You know, COVID actually amplified the need for people to have life insurance, more so to have living benefits, because it intensified the message. It amplified the message and intensified the need, actually, is what I meant to say. Because look at this, with COVID happening, who would have thought that hundreds and thousands of people will die so prematurely, leaving their families now with young children, with bills to pay, uncertain of their future. Also, if you actually did not die, you go into disability, income stops. And so what are you going to do? Even if you collect a little bit of a disability in proceeds from the government, it is so limited. Would that be able to pay for your large home or your kids' college education in an Ivy League school or even in a community college? Just think about those things. And also, okay, so the COVID also, how many people have lost their jobs? Okay, so in terms of this, the reason why I mentioned also the loss of the jobs is because living benefits and also the right type of insurance that has a savings component to it will allow you to access funds when you need it the most, just even to tie you over. Now, this is really very, very powerful because you do not know what you don't know. So if you do not know that there are living benefits available, you're missing out on a lot of money available to you and to your family when you need it most. But not all living benefits are the same. Some life insurance companies, for example, will call living benefits that only covers a waiver of premium. That's not going to be enough. It just, waives your premium. So, while you're disabled, some only offer terminal illness that would only give you a small portion, usually 40 to 70%, in case you were diagnosed with a terminal illness and are expected to die within 12 months. But what if you don't die? What if you have cancer, stroke, heart attack, or any other disabling diseases that will prevent you from performing the 6 activities of daily living? This may be new to a lot of people because they've never heard of, what do you mean 6 activities of daily living? These are things that normally we do to function on a daily basis. So we eat, like the activities of daily living are like eating, toileting, feeding, dressing, transporting, also continence. Okay, when certain living benefits actually pay you with some sort of income if you cannot just perform 2 activities of daily living. So that means if you cannot feed yourself, or you cannot dress yourself, or you cannot go to the bathroom by yourself, or you cannot, you have continence problem, if you just cannot perform 2 of those, do you know that there are certain life insurance policies that would give you money up to 2% per month of the death benefit while you are still alive? And that will help pay for your bills, or even for somebody to care for you. Let's face it, if you or somebody you know has ever been ill, right? Oftentimes a family member either have to give up their career, their jobs, to be able to take care of you. That means lost income. Or if that is not the option, you have to pay somebody to help you do the 2 activities of daily living, or the 6 activities of daily living, so you can live with dignity and be able to function. And it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. Where are you going to get the money? Are you going to deplete your savings? Because that is certainly not covered under your health insurance, not all of it. And so are you going to stress your family, okay, with the worry of financing the care that you need? These are things that we need to think about. And with people also living a lot longer, to 103, 104 years old, do you only have a small savings? Are you depending on your social security to pay for your longevity? It's not going to be enough. That's why a lot of people, the older population, end up selling their homes, because their social security just ends up getting used to pay for taxes. But they need to pay for food. They need to pay for care. They need to pay for bills. These are things that we often do not think about when we're young and when we're healthy. But with COVID happening, suddenly people became like, wow, aware that, wow, I could die, I could get sick, I could get disabled, I could lose my job. These are things that are very, very eye-opening, as a matter of fact. And so I am very, very passionate about this, because that was me. I was disabled. I did not have the money. I ended up losing my home. My family was so worried. And so now my insurance already matured. So I did not have any more coverage. So I actually applied for another coverage. But this time, I came from a place of empowerment and education. I know now what is available to me and what I need. Yes, it cost me money. more money than usual because now I'm older and I've also have a pre-existing condition. Pre-existing condition gets taken into account during underwriting because obviously we are a higher risk. But it is still better to pay more than not have any coverage at all. So how does it change my life, for instance? My life, for instance, I changed because I now have a policy that covers that covers living benefits, that covers all of the stress of having to pay for the bills that I would end up giving to my family. My phone keeps on ringing. This is what happens when on a live broadcast. So anyway, my life is so different now because I have a life insurance policy that has living benefits. So God forbid anything happens to me, I have coverage. I know that my family will be okay, that we will be okay, and that our home would not be at the risk of being lost, and we don't have to suffer financial hardship. It's a very long answer to your question, Tammy, but that is where my passion comes from.
Hey, Pearlie, somehow this got or disconnected. My internet got disconnected. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I wonder if that lost what I was talking about.
It's still live on YouTube. So I don't know. And I can see this transcript. Let me see here. I can't really tell. I internet last night too, where it went out for a little while.
That's what happens in live broadcast, like the Wi-Fi, the internet could go askew, right?
Yeah, well, it's still recording on YouTube. So finish when did you stop talking?
Oh, basically I gave a very long answer to your question on about my business and living benefits. So I explained it a little bit more.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and keep talking because the it was still recording even though my internet went, so it should have still been recording on your side of it. So tell me, when somebody works with you, what would you say would be like the three biggest transformations that they would see? I remember you stopped talking about the that people get peace of mind.
Yes, those are yeah, peace of protection, peace of mind, and prosperity.
Okay, so expand on those.
Okay, so in terms of peace of mind, I have explained that first of all, as we go through many life transitions, right? So there are different things like, okay, a child is born. Okay, that could be us, and then or we graduate from school and we don't know what to do with our money, but we start earning. Maybe we're still living with our parents, and we have we don't have big obligations, so we have money to put on the side. Okay, we also get married. Okay, now we get married, we need to build a life together and we need to protect it. Okay, we have children. Now we have to learn how to be able to protect our family and provide for them, happy life, right? But aside from that, that goes through, by the way, for husbands, because it just affects them in a different way, because husbands or fathers, they're wired to be the protector, the provider, the hunter for the family, to make sure that the family is well protected, not only for what they need on a daily basis, but also for the future, for their education. A lot of their pride stems from that. And but then this head of families could also go into a disabling accident, right, or disease, and the income stops. Okay, that's now we have a home to pay, we have a family to provide. Okay, now where are you going to get the money to pay for your mortgage? Where are you going to get the money to pay for the bills? Now, what happens with your children's education? Maybe a number of them will be off to college, and now you don't have access to any type of money. And now everybody is stressed. You may have some savings, but are you going to deplete what you have saved for? Because there is, you need some kind of a supplemental, income to provide for your family. It's not just going to come from, you cannot just depend on GoFundMe. That is a very big factor, because during COVID, just let's just put into perspective, during COVID, how many people have you seen on Facebook having GoFundMe campaign because of a medical emergency or even a funeral?
Yeah.
These are just very concrete example, because now they have bills to pay, but they have no money to come, they have no money to access. So for the protection, obviously you want to protect your assets. Your big asset is your family, your home, your car, because you need to be able to get somewhere. And like, say for example, whatever material assets that you have, you want to be able to protect them, including your savings. Okay, the peace of mind comes from, my goodness, everybody now is worried and stressed out. Where are we going to get the money? How, I won't be able to go to my private school anymore. I won't be able to buy whatever they want anymore, because now you have to change your lifestyle completely. And then, of course, those people that are able to put money through life insurance can also be able to save money in an income tax free strategy. And that is something that I could discuss with people who may be interested to know about that. But it's great for people who are just, starting their jobs and they have money to save. And now, because they can accumulate, through compounded interest, it will earn so much over time. But people do not know that. That's why it's very important to have financial literacy, because financial literacy would empower us to make intelligent decisions on where to put our money. Some people like to put them on more risk but high yielding vehicles, but the elderly population, or I must say the more seasoned in age population, like the middle age, actually would like to be more conservative. So that, say for example, and there is an index universal life policy that basically allows your savings to participate only on an up market but protected on a down market. That means it's completely risk free. So you don't want to have to worry about, oh my gosh, all my 401k money will basically go down the drain if the market crashes. No, there are vehicles out there that will protect your money, your savings, even on a down market, by staying where it is, and it will pick up where it left off during the time that it picks up. So it will give you the prosperity, because it would allow you to build wealth over time while giving you protection. So, life insurance is a very, very beautiful vehicle for you to have the peace of mind, protection, and prosperity in life. What if you do not know how? I would love to, obviously discuss that with you.
Right. What is the best way to get in contact with you?
The best way to get in contact with me is really to, to reach out to me on my cell phone at 201-994-5617. Because you can text me, you can text living benefits, because really you don't know what you don't know. So you're missing out on a lot of money that is available to you, because you do not know that it is available. So I just want you to know, when we get together, when I bless you with this empowerment and education, you are in no obligation to buy anything. What you do with it is entirely up to you. But, I am very, very passionate about helping people have resilience in their lives. right nowadays, financial resilience is very, very important. And so, with that, just remember, you are the captain of your life. You make the decisions for your family, for yourself. And the more you know, the more empowered, the more serenity you will invite into your life, and the more joyful, yeah, and meaningful, and fruitful your life can be. And like, so what I do, Tammy, is really not just all about providing people with life solutions. um I offer them a whole different mindset, because I love the fact that I am a life coach. I love the fact that I am many different things. Actually, in one of our conversations, you were asking me, Furley, what makes you different? Like, why should I buy from you? Why should I work with you? I'll tell you why. It is because working with me is not transactional. I operate from a place of relational. Like, it is so meaningful for me to be able to help people in a whole different way. When people are, when people are not financially liquid, when people are not sure of what the hell to do with their lives, right? They go through life transitions, they lose their job, they want to start over, they want to find out where to put the money that they have accumulated during the time that they were employed. I'd like to be able to help them with that. And I said, like, look, I said, I am a crusader of financial resilience. And by the way, I also uphold my fiduciary duty to you to serve you in your best interest, because I am not all about, oh, okay, what policy will give me the most commission? No, that is not what's important. When you work with me, what's important is you. What will best protect you? What is best comfortable with your budget? And you are working with somebody who's a lot of fun, who's compassionate, and who's also, a great listener, who is also, a safe place where you can be vulnerable, so you can share your dreams and your fears with me as well. So I believe in soul connection and nurturing friendships and empowerment. So call me, like, 201-994-5617. You will be very surprised of what you can become, how resilient you can become, not only in finances, but in many, many aspects of your life. And so like, in my TV show, in my podcast, in my blogs, I always share with people how they can become resilient, confident, and vibrant in life. So it is very holistic. It's very comprehensive. So if like, there is no one there like me. And I am very proud to be blessed with all of this amazing gifts and vehicles to share with you, so you can live a beautifully vibrant, resilient, and confident life.
That's really beautiful. So people want to connect with you. You have your telephone where they can either call or text you. And of course, it sounds to me like you will meet with people one-on-one and have a personal conversation with them, so that they can determine if everything that you're talking about with living benefits, and if it's the right fit for them within what their goals are for life, right?
Yes, absolutely, Tammy. And remember, if you are, you don't have to just be an ordinary individual. You could also be a business owner, because we also have, like, do you know that you can insure yourself under the business if you are the key person? So like, if you are an attorney, a doctor, or what, like a dentist, and if you are the main person in your business, you can be insured under the company, so that your company will be able to continue to earn income if you should become disabled. And like, what's so funny, Tammy? We insure everything. We insure our home, our cars, our telephones.
Right.
Yeah, but we don't insure the most precious thing of all, our lives, right? So, so this is the moment that you need to really think very, very seriously about protecting yourself, your family, your business, your loved ones, and your future. So we can discuss all that when we connect together. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share what I just did with you, because obviously, I'm sure this is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call to so many people out there, that living benefits is available. You don't have to die to use it. And if you should have cancer, stroke, or heart attack, you can access it. And if you, by the way, have a life insurance policy, you should be asking your agent, how much money will my life insurance policy give me if I have cancer, stroke, heart attack, or a severe disability and I don't die? If the answer is zero, we need to talk. You're missing out on a lot of money available to you.
Well, that is really good advice, Furley. So everyone, we've been speaking with Furley Almonte, and she is on Expert Profiles, Conversations with Influencers and Innovators. And you can read this interview in an upcoming volume. So thank you so much, Furley. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thank you very much for sharing your light and this platform for influencers and innovators and leaders out there, experts. My goodness, you are such a blessing to so many people. I'm so glad to call you my friend, and I'm blessed among many other people to have you guiding us in this